Mic check. Mic check. Yeah, it works. Does this have to move? There's nothing moving over here, though. Yeah. Yeah, so why the fuck was it off? It was on communications. I don't even know what that is. Yo, if we end the live stream and we redo it, does it matter?
We're good now.
Yeah, just keep it going. All right, yeah, fuck it. All right. Thanks, bro. Peace.
All right, we back. Technical. You heard us, Liz? All right. So as I was saying, Tom Brady, the first topic we're going to do is Tom Brady on his mediocrity comments on the Stephen A. Smith show. I don't see the excellence that I saw in the past. I think the coaching isn't as good as it was. I don't think the development of young players is as good as it was. Offensive players need to protect themselves. It's not up to a defensive player to protect an offensive player. A defensive player needs to protect himself. I think a lot of the way that the rules have come into play have allowed this. You can essentially play carefree, and then if anyone hits you hard, there's a penalty. Facts. When I see these different players come in, they're not quite as prepared as they were, and I think the game has shown that over the last 12 to 13 years. I don't disagree with one thing you said.
That was the best take I've heard in a long time.
He was spot on in everything that he said.
He smoked that. He really is the GOAT, yo.
Because when you listen to it, that's what everybody was trying to say in a nutshell. Is that like even for when Fletcher Cox got the roughing the passer on Patrick Mahomes, it's like he's 400 pounds. Like when Patrick Mahomes jumps in the air and he's running, you're going to get hurt trying to stop.
Right. But I think in the message too was like the guys like Ray Lewis's and Brian Dawkins, the way they impacted the game, you can't do it anymore.
Brian Dawkins would have got thrown out of every game.
And when you listen to the interview, Brady talks about he didn't throw into certain spots because he was afraid that his guy getting knocked out of the game.
Yeah.
So, and then now you're tailoring the rules to the point where, everybody's being protected. And I don't know how a 275-pound linebacker or 325-pound linebacker, jacked as all hell, going full speed, has to stop at a certain point to make it a legal hit is almost impossible. It's so much to ask for that it's leading to other injuries because they don't know how to tackle anymore.
And now they're saying that they're going to stop the hip tackle, and it's like you're giving them a 6-inch circle to hit.
I don't know what they're supposed to do.
It's flag football.
It's flag football. It's starting to get to that point, and I don't know. I mean, look, Brian Dawkins would have been out of the league years. Like Brian Dawkins might not be a Hall of Famer in today's NFL.
He would have been Quentin Jammer, or not Quentin Jammer is crazy. He would have been Darwin on the Chargers. What's his name? He gets fined every game.
Oh, Derwin James.
Derwin James.
Yeah, like that's what I'm saying. Like who knows if he's a Hall of Famer because the way he impacted the game, man, he smacked you if he came across the middle.
Like the Algie
that's
hit.
Football. Yeah, I mean, but like now you're taking it out of the game, and it's like now they have to tailor their fundamentals of tackling and who on how to hit, and it's leading to other bad football, and that's what he's saying, that the product of the NFL is mediocrity because you're taking away the fundamentals of the game. So I agree with him. This is a home run take, man.
I know it was awesome, and I feel like even like Stephen A. or whoever heard that, I think everyone that heard that listened to it and agreed.
Oh yeah, no doubt about it.
Because you see, like even on
I didn't see one comment where I was like where
negative,
where they disagreed. Yeah.
And then it was like Richard Sherman was saying it, like they were talking about that, and he goes, You're making it impossible for defensive players to play.
Yeah,
like it's ridiculous.
Right.
It's not even fun. It's impacting the game so negatively. It sucks. It really does, because it really is. It's flag football.
Yeah, well, I mean, what are you gonna do? He's right about that, and he was spot on, absolutely spot on. I'm happy we're back though. I'm happy we're fucking potted, baby, man. It's the day before Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody out there. We appreciate you guys tuning in all year. We hope you guys have a great holiday. So yeah, man, enjoy the rest of the show. We have a packed show tonight, that's for sure.
So you know what else was packed?
I'll pack you.
Yeah, Joe Burrow's hand got packed too. Out for the year with a torn ligament in his right wrist. Where do they go from here?
What?
I'll wear the shit.
Yeah, you do. Yo, you are.
Where do the Bengals go from here? Besides home.
Stand still. I mean, they have to just ride out the season with what they got. Was it Jake Browning? I mean, he's going to have to
Eric
he's
Browning.
going to have to deliver. Who?
Eric Browning.
Oh gosh. Yeah, I mean that would fit.
He don't listen to us.
It don't matter. It don't matter. He'll never catch it anyway. So it doesn't really. It's all good. We can grill him up here.
And we need more friends like Marcos.
Oh, absolutely. Marcos is a really great friend, man. Like I'll tell you what, he's one of those guys that you want in your foxhole. That's for sure.
Not if he's on 42.
Oh yeah, no. He was on a different type of time.
Weird shit.
He was wilding. But anyway, let's get back on track.
Let's go back to Joe Burrow's.
I mean, yeah, they got to stay. They got to stand still. I mean, what else are they supposed to do? The trade deadline passed. T. Higgins, we don't know his status. They have Jamar Chase, but he's a little banged up. I mean, they're done. I just think they're done. I think they just got to ride out the season. And you know what? I mean, look, if they keep losing here on out, which I actually still don't think that they're going to be as bad as people think because of their overall team. But if they do start losing, they still get a good draft pick. They still have Joe Burrow coming back. Like, I mean, there's still a lot of excitement there in Cincinnati, regardless of how the season ends.
Yeah, I mean, he got hurt, but they're not going to do anything foolish or, dumb. They're just not. He got hurt. It is what it is. But you're a Super Bowl team when Joe Burrow is healthy. It just sucks that he got hurt this year.
Is he injury prone?
I mean, 2 out of 4 years. He said season
that sucks, man, because he's a really good player. Like, this is like the last thing.
I mean, on this one, I don't even really know where this came from, but like he was hurt in spring training, so like it's tough. But when you get sacked
100 times, I know
152 times in 4 years, like bro, you're gonna break some bones. I mean, it made Andrew Luck retire, and he's been sacked more than Andrew Luck. Like, I just don't understand it. How you keep signing offensive linemen, and every time they come there, they suck.
Yeah, well, Andrew Luck did dip, yo. That's crazy.
He got tired of it, bro. He broke his ankle. He broke his finger. He broke his ribs, a collapsed lung, whatever. And then he was just like, all right, I had enough. And he left, and they booed the shit out of him when he was walking off the field.
Yeah. He took a beating out there.
I mean, you can make a case now if you look at numbers that he's like a borderline Hall of Famer. I don't think he is, but you can.
Nah, I don't think he played long enough. I think longevity for me plays a factor. Longevity and dominance. Yeah, you have to dominate your position in the sport. For me, I think my criteria is at least 8 to 9, 10 years. I think a decade. A decade of dominance.
A solid length of work before, like, I could say that.
Like, I think the Hall of Fame is kind of sweet now.
100%. And I've said this before. People get crazy. Like I say it all the time. Like you see, like when you're talking about players that go in, I'm like, no, because you could no, he's not a Hall of Famer. He didn't win a Super Bowl. He didn't get to enough AFC chips or NFC chips. Like that stuff matters. And I think that's where you build your case. And I always go to it. Rivers and McNabb. But also about to say, look at Troy Aikman. Troy Aikman's stats are terrible. Not terrible, but they're not good for what he has with 3 Super Bowls. But he's a Hall of Famer.
But is it fair to say that we have to hold the defensive players in the same regard as in terms of winning Super Bowls?
No, not for defensive players. Defensive players, I think it's more about individual accolades.
Why?
Like interceptions and stuff like that.
Why?
Because,
why do you actually feel that way?
Because a cornerback can't be the driving force of you winning a Super Bowl.
No. I mean, he can't be the focal point. No.
But you've never seen, like, if you put Richard Sherman on a shit team in his prime, here's a perfect example. Nnamdi Asomugha was on a shit team with the Raiders. He looked awesome. He came to the Eagles. He was trash because he just, I don't know. Look, I don't know if it was scheme or whatever, but I'm just saying, like, nobody considers Nnamdi a Hall of Famer. Byron Maxwell was on the Legion of Boom. He comes to Philly, he was trash.
I'll give you another example too. Darrelle Revis, when he went to the Bucs and then he went to the Patriots, and then won a Super Bowl in that 1 year. So I see the comparison.
Nnamdi Asomugha, when he was on the Raiders, he didn't make them a Super Bowl contender. He was just on a shit team. But like Adrian Peterson, he ran them to the playoffs that year because Christian Ponder was his quarterback. Like that stuff matters to me. Like Adrian Peterson's one of the best running backs we've ever seen.
I mean, I could argue Aaron Donald kind of played a big factor in the Rams winning the Super Bowl too.
He did, but he wasn't the driving force. Cooper Kupp was.
What about Von Miller?
I know you're going to go there, but they still had Peyton Manning.
Yeah, but Peyton Manning was was on the down.
But he still did enough. I know Von Miller won MVP because he did great in the Super Bowl. But like you can't.
He dominated at the Super Bowl. He literally won them the Super Bowl.
Von Miller.
Absolutely.
Yeah. That was against the Panthers. Wasn't
Panthers.
It? Yeah, with Cam and everything. I just I don't feel like a defensive player. I just feel like it's different. I do. Like I don't feel like they can have impact and you could build a strong unit, but like the Eagles have.
So you believe? So what I'm hearing from you is that what you believe is that a quarterback should have to at least win one Super Bowl before they make the Hall of Fame, or be considered.
No, they don't. No, they need to have success in the playoffs for me to be considered.
What's success to you though? Because success could be a different story for everybody else. Like I'm just saying, like I'm talking about voter wise, right? Like Hall of Fame. Like what do they go by? Do they go by the Super Bowls? Do they go by the championship game appearances? Do they go by the playoff record? Do they go by the regular season, the stats? Like what do they go by? I don't understand. Like I know it's a mixture of things, but what's the bar? At the bar. I don't know what the bar is for. I'm just saying, like, when I look at it, I look at everything in totality. And that's how I make a decision. Like I'm just trying to think, like for me, like McNabb. That's your boy.
He is, because he had a very successful career and it's never talked about because he was behind Drew Brees and Tom Brady and Ben Roethlisberger.
He did win the bowl.
He never won the bowl. That's fine.
That's why.
But that's what I'm saying. However, you're going to have people that turn around and say, oh, is Tony Romo a Hall of Famer? No, Tony Romo never did anything in the playoffs.
Did anybody ever say that?
People have said it before.
Really?
I think so, because I think people in Dallas think that Tony Romo was great, and he wasn't.
I mean, I've never heard anybody say that Tony Romo was a Hall of Famer.
I'm just saying you probably do have people that have said that.
Okay.
You probably do have. But I don't think Tony Romo is a Hall of Famer, obviously.
No, I don't think so either, but I'd be shocked if people did think that.
Five NFC championship games.
You can make a case.
A Super Bowl
I think
appearance.
Donovan, you can make a case because his stats were really good. If you look at his wide receivers, you'd be like, okay, dude was getting to the championship game and he had like one of the worst wide receivers in the league, right?
He had Tom Pigston.
It was awful. It was awful. I mean, call it what it was. Just call it what it was. He had bad weapons. And the one time they got a weapon in TO, they went to the bowl. So you got to think, like, if the Eagles would have provided him a lot of, with weapons early in his career, they could have actually won the Super Bowl at some point because the Eagles had some great teams.
But so I just you have to, I say this with just to come to current day, Josh Allen. I need to see more. Now, obviously he has a lot of career left. But for me, dude, I take everything in totality, even when I'm judging regular quarterbacks like Kyler and all this. And I always say all the time, and I'm like, Kyler, he's a great athlete. He hasn't done shit.
Yeah.
He hasn't done shit. He just hasn't. And you could have all that flash, that running around, that crazy stuff, but is the guy winning games? And no, he's not. He had one decent season. And it's like, okay, what qualifies him to be a top 10 quarterback? Justin Herbert. I said this before. 2 years ago or a year ago, I said, I think Justin Herbert's elite. Now it's like, bro, you're under 500. You have a loaded offense. You need to win games. I don't want to hear about your head coach. I don't want to hear about your defense. I get it. They're not that good. But when you're a superstar, you overcome shit like that.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to really judge Justin Herbert at this age. I mean, when you watch him, he's fantastic.
And I'll say this, Trevor Lawrence. I think Trevor Lawrence is good, but the way he was talked about coming out of college and what people portrayed him through his rookie year, it's not him. His second year, Trevor Lawrence is way underperforming the bar that was set for him. Trevor Lawrence is mids.
Yeah, I mean, Justin Herbert's a better quarterback than Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah,
but
talent for talent. But Trevor
Lawrence has more success. I get that, but when I look at the two quarterbacks, you could see it. Like Justin Herbert, he stands out. He makes amazing throws. I thought he was clutch this past weekend. It just didn't. The wide receiver just didn't catch the ball. But
unfortunately, Herbert, because Herbert's so good, he gets blamed for that.
Sure.
But when Brock Purdy against the Browns leads them down on the drive under a minute down the field and the kicker misses the field goal, the loss gets blamed on Brock Purdy and he should be benched.
Oh, absolutely.
And it's shit like that. That's the narratives I fight against, because it's like, I don't understand why with certain quarterbacks, because if Tom Brady drove down the field and Adam Vinatieri missed a field goal, I think that loss ain't on Tom Brady. He did his job.
I agree.
But when Brock Purdy does it, or Jalen Hurts does it, or Dak Prescott, or Josh Allen, and I'll be guilty of that too. But I'm just saying that is the shit that pisses me off because it's a double standard. And that shouldn't happen. So when you look at careers and stuff and you're arguing them and you're looking at the stats, everything is a whole. Mm-hmm. Everything is a whole. You can't just look at one thing. Like that goes to my Jordan and LeBron argument. When I say, like, okay, if you're going to debate me on Jordan and LeBron, you're not allowed to mention 6 rings. Just tell me what he does better. Tell me how he made his teammates better. Tell me how he's more successful. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can't
absolutely.
mention that
I get it.
Because that doesn't mean everything. That doesn't mean anything.
It means a lot, though.
It does mean it's meaningful, but there has to the evidence behind it and the context has to all make sense. You can't just grab random stats and things like that to paint your case. And that's why I always say stats lie. Because right now, Russell Wilson's better than Patrick Mahomes if we're looking at stats.
He's playing really good ball.
But if you look at the eye test, he's not playing all that great. He has good stats.
Yeah.
But if you look at the eye test, he just looks like a regular degular.
Yeah, I mean he's not like, you know, blowing you away of like, you know, what he looks like. He's just being efficient. I mean, he is. I gotta tip my cap. He's being efficient, man. He's having a really good season, a damn good season.
No, I know. I'm happy for him, honestly, because I was shitting on him a ton. We were laughing at him, but he's definitely turned it around.
Yeah, I give credit where credit is due.
A quarterback that didn't turn it around, Zach Wilson, was benched for Tim Boyle. Do you think he's done in New York?
Oh yeah, his time is.
I feel so bad
done.
for him.
I do too. You know, it's crazy because, like, you know, I made a reel about you know, the Jets and, you know, them benching Zach Wilson for Tim Boyle, and a lot of people were like, oh, you know, why are you defending Zach Wilson? I'm like, you know, to be honest with you, I'm not. But their offensive line really didn't give him a chance. I mean, you know, when you're the third most team, you know, when your offensive line has given up the third most sacks in the league. At 40 already, I mean, you know, how do you blame the quarterback? It's not all on him. Like, the guy's getting killed back there. So what realistically are you expecting from him? You know what I mean? It's like it's mind blowing for me. But even when I watch him, he's nothing fantastic. There's nothing really great about him. He's just a regular average quarterback. But I think he needs an Aaron Rodgers to learn from. And he got stripped from the opportunity, and that's what Aaron Rodgers was talking about in the interview. So, like, yeah, like, I think that's where he's at in his career. I just don't think he's a starter right now.
No, he's definitely not.
And maybe he'll, you know what? And maybe he'll never be a starter. Yeah. Maybe he's just another backup quarterback, and that's cool. You can still have a career in the NFL as a backup quarterback.
Look at Chase Daniels.
Absolutely,
Chase Daniels. I want to be Chase Daniels.
Absolutely,
in my next life.
Yeah, you can absolutely have a career.
I genuinely feel bad for him because he is done in New York. But first of all, he shouldn't have been drafted 2nd overall. Just because he was able to throw the ball 70 yards, that doesn't make you a starting NFL quarterback.
Well, that's what they did with Jamarcus Russell when he was throwing 75 yards from his knees.
And it's like, who cares? Yeah. Again, who cares? Like, seriously, who cares?
Like, I'm sorry, but if you're throwing the ball on your knees, that means you're down.
Yeah, like,
what's the point?
I don't understand it. And they need to get
shit.
their offensive line. Their offensive line's trash. And like, you're benching him for Tim Boyle.
Yeah, I mean, their offensive line's hurt. I get it, but like, their offensive line, it's even coming in. I had concerns. I didn't think Aaron Rodgers and that was a good mix, and that's why I had the Jets out of the playoffs. I didn't believe in them, and unfortunately, Aaron Rodgers got hurt, and that's kind of how I felt about the Bengals too. I just felt like a weird thing going on with them this year, and I had them missing the playoffs. So right now, I mean, it's looking good, and it's weird. Like, ironically, both quarterbacks went down out for the season. Well, we'll see.
Yeah,
with Rodgers, which.
He's coming back.
I think he's
coming back.
I think he's in over his head, but that's okay.
Man, yo, the love fest I've grown to have on Aaron Rodgers is I've shocked myself with this.
No, but I kind of feel like this is a kind of like a publicity stunt in a way, like him coming back in record time. I mean, realistically, your team's out of the playoffs. Like, if they lose the next 2 games before he comes back, I mean, they'll be 4-8. I mean, they're not making the playoffs.
Passion. I
know, but there's a difference between being passionate and being smart. You got to recognize your age, and you got to recognize the surgery you just had. Like, this is something that, like, you know, that could actually even screw you up even more if you get hurt again. I mean, that could happen.
Yeah, I just
I mean, and not for nothing, he's not in football shape, right? I don't think he's in football shape. And he wants to come back and practice, and it's like, all right, but if he comes back in practice, then he's going to be playing. All bets are off.
Yeah,
this is like a, you know, I could see this being a kind of like a publicity stunt where it's like, hey, I'm proving to you that modern medicine works. Like these things work. Psychedelics work. You know, like I mean, honestly, I don't know. I kind of feel like that's kind of what it's been. Even though the surgery, is different from all those things. I just feel like he's trying to prove that the modern medicine is a lot better than ever.
I mean, I would agree with him on that. And I think it's even better because now it's just like, oh, I don't feel good. All right, take this pill. I'm not feeling like myself. All right, here you go. Here's a Xanax. Take a Valium.
Yeah.
You got this. All right, take that. And it's just like, you're just popping pills left and right when you could do that. Like, you know what I mean? So, but for me with Aaron Rodgers, I think he's going to play, but I think it's going to be something like you said too. Like, but not so much as of a publicity stunt. I think it's more just going to be of like an FU. Like, I can do this. He gives the Jets hope for next year after you just had the wind sucked out.
I know, but there's so much risk involved by coming back so early.
No, I understand
that. Especially when you have
saying,
nothing to play for. It's just like now you're playing for what?
But for him, dude, he became public enemy number one when he stood up and the whole, I have been immunized thing.
Oh, absolutely.
And then he was the face of, I went to Peru, I did a psychedelic. Then he goes on podcasts and he's talking about it, and people like me are watching me are like, damn, like I actually, like I could get behind this dude.
Yeah. Oh, whoa. Yo, what's going on?
My bad. I'm just saying, like, like I understand what he's saying. Like I understand what he's saying. Like I believe it and I like it, and I just come around to like him. Like I actually don't think, not for nothing, but he used to be like an arrogant prick. After the psychedelics, he seems to be like a really likable dude.
I like him. I do. I do. I just think he's in over his head coming back this early. I just don't think. I don't think the risk is worth the. I don't think the juice is worth the squeeze. I just don't. I mean, I think by that time the Jets are going to be out of playoff contention. Are you laughing because about my face when you said what you said?
Yeah,
on the screen?
bro.
No,
yeah, I just saw that when it came on.
Yeah, it was funny.
I'm cooked. I'm cooked.
But yeah, no, I just think it's a big mistake. But I feel bad for Mr. Zach Wilson.
Yeah, me too. So the Jets are eliminated.
Yeah, the crash landed.
All right, contenders or pretenders, 3 from each conference. NFC. Vikings, contender or pretender?
Oh man, this one was tough for me. I'm gonna go contender. I'm gonna go contender with the Vikings. Well, to me,
bro.
Well, what's your definition of contender?
Somebody who can make and win a playoff game.
I think this team can win a playoff game with Josh Dobbs. I'm not gonna lie.
So let me get this straight, just so I'm hearing you correctly.
Yeah.
Last year, you didn't believe in the Vikings or Kirk Cousins, but this year you believe in the Vikings or Josh Dobbs.
Momentum.
Yeah.
Momentum.
Yeah, they were 11-3 last year, and you didn't believe in them.
Yo. I'm telling you, I'm not some shit. Yeah, what some shit is what I'm about to tell you right now, because the bottom line is Josh Dobbs, since he's been a starter, they've been excellent. The Vikings are 5-1 without Justin Jefferson, who everybody has told me that he's the second best player in the NFL. Bullshit. If you are the second best player in the NFL and the team is 5-1 without you, and last year they lost a wild card game at home, what does that tell you? He ain't the second best player in the NFL. Period. End of story. I like that was all cap. So yeah, no, I think this team has done really well. I mean, they've been excellent with Josh Dobbs. There's no who they have remaining: the Bears, the Raiders, the Bengals, the Lions twice, and the Packers. You're telling me this team can't win 4 games? Absolutely. You don't think the Vikings can go 4-2? I think you're foolish. The Bengals don't have Burrow anymore. Who knows what who knows what they look like in 3 weeks? And the Packers, I actually think the Vikings would win there. And I think the Vikings can split with the Lions.
All right. So before I get into that, I just want to say, I'm going to say hi. Hi, Gianni. Daddy loves you, buddy. I hope you're enjoying your popcorn with mommy.
What's up, Jay?
And enjoying watching.
That's my guy. That's my guy.
Kind of weird. My son's watching me on TV.
That's fine.
That's a whole different subject. No, the Vikings are some pretenders.
Wow.
It's very simple. They're not making noise.
Okay.
They're not. They do have a softer schedule, but I'm just like, look, if they beat the Broncos, maybe I would have had some more energy towards them. But I just don't see it with them.
They lost by 1.
I understand that, but
the Broncos are hot. You got to give them respect.
The thing with the Vikings is that you have the Lions that are dominant. You have the Eagles that are dominant.
Division
The Cowboys are good. The Niners are good. The Seahawks are good. There's 6, 7, 8 teams definitively better than them.
I mean, look, we'll talk about the other teams in
just
there,
in the NFC. So, and then we're going to talk about this one in 2 teams. But
I know, but if there's one quarterback that you don't want to see in the playoffs, it's a guy like him. It's a guy like I'm talking about early on, the wild card round, where a team that has really nothing to play for because they could be the team that could be the 7th seed. And when you got a quarterback that could run and kind of make plays with his feet, anything can happen. We've seen it. We've seen it with Michael Vick. I'm not comparing him to Michael Vick, but he has a skill set in the pocket where he can escape and make plays with his feet and cause a lot of, stress on the defense on the outside and also have to worry about his passing ability.
No, I agree. I mean, that's a fair point. That's
a team that nobody really wants to mess with in the wild card round.
And if they get Jettas back, I mean, that's just an added element to them.
And you have Hawkinson, who's having an excellent year. I mean, I think, the running game is kind of shaky, but we'll see what this Chandler.
I know. I'm a Madison owner. It's
and Madison.
I refuse to talk about fantasy. Seahawks, contenders or pretenders?
I'll be honest with you, man. I don't like what I see from them. I actually think they're pretenders. I'm not big on the Seahawks moving forward. They have a really tough schedule. I mean, they play the Niners twice. They play the Cowboys. They play the Eagles, the Titans, the Steelers, and the Cardinals. And I'll be honest with you, I probably don't see maybe no more than 2-3 wins left.
What are they right now? 6-3 or 7?
Seattle is
6-4.
They're 6-4.
That's a problem.
So I think them and the Vikings are going to edge it out in the end. In terms
who would you like in a game? Seahawks versus Vikings.
Wow, it's tough. It's tough because
I would go Seahawks strictly because of Pete Carroll.
That's probably where I would lean to. But if I had to be honest with you, I wouldn't mind taking the Vikings money line because like I said earlier, I just believe I think Josh Dobbs has the Vikings playing well. I mean, regardless of, I know they lost last game, I get it. But again, like I said, they have won. They're 5-1. They're 5-1 without Justin Jefferson, and when they get him back, they're going to be even better. And I just feel like he's comfortable with the offense.
I feel like I
just think Geno's just looks uncomfortable.
He does, and I want to say this: I think the Seahawks are a good team, but I also think they're pretenders. Like I think they'll get in because the NFC's weaker. It's not a strong conference.
Yeah,
but they don't scare me. Like I think for me, if you're in the NFC and you're a big dog, you look forward to playing. Like you won't be scared of a Seahawks team in a first-round match.
No. I don't think anybody.
The 49ers, the Cowboys, the Lions, the Eagles, they would welcome that.
Absolutely.
So that's where I am on the Seahawks, and I just think that, like with Geno, we kind of
I don't think they're making the playoffs.
That schedule is tough. I mean, they have 4 really tough games. Really tough games. 49ers, Eagles, 49ers, Dallas, and
what's going to be the deal breaker?
5, I'm sorry.
What's going to be the deal breaker is probably going to be the Dallas game.
The Cowboys game is
because you can afford to lose to the Niners because they're going to win the division, right? Like, I mean, look, who knows? Seattle could upset them this week and tomorrow, and we don't even know.
I know.
But based on what I saw, I just don't think they can fuck with the Niners.
Yeah.
I don't believe that. Until they prove me wrong, I have to just go with what I see. And right now, I just see a lot of inconsistency on the offense. I mean, I don't see Geno Smith hitting DK Metcalf as much as I used to. I last year they were excellent. I know DK scored this week, but throughout the whole season, they have been off. Like, let's call it what it is.
What about the Saints?
Now the Saints,
they're straight pretenders. The Saints are booty. They're super ass. They're some shit.
Are they a playoff team? Are they winning division? That's question number 1.
What's the record? 6 and 4. They were on a bye week this week.
The Saints?
Yeah. What are they? 5-4?
They're 5-5.
5-5?
Yeah.
The Falcons, I think, are 4-6.
They're 4-6. The Bucs are 4-6, and the Panthers are 1-9.
I'll say no. They don't win the division.
Who's winning that?
I'll roll Tampa.
Tampa, huh?
I'll roll Tampa. They're a game out. Tampa's been playing great.
I agree with you.
Not great, but Tampa's been playing good. I think Tampa's a good team. Tampa's they're better, a lot better than I thought. Mike Evans I don't understand. He's having a rebirth with Baker Mayfield. It's crazy.
It's
to
not a
watch.
rebirth. I think Mike Evans
he's playing excellent this year. You know what it is? He hasn't been getting injured a lot this year. He's staying healthy.
Isn't it crazy like how a wide receiver is so dominant for a decade almost and more and has won a Super Bowl, been less respected than Mike?
Nope, we talked about it before.
It's actually crazy.
Yeah.
Like nobody respects him as a top wide receiver in this league. And I think it's foolish. I think it's insane.
I know.
I mean, if you look at it, everybody loves statistics and it's like,
there you go.
I mean, you can't get any more consistent than Mike Evans. You know, year in and year out, he's getting you 1,000 yards. Period. End of story. I don't care if he catches 40 passes versus 80 passes. He's getting the 1,000-yard mark. Period.
The issue I have with the Saints is that Michael Thomas is out now, even though he hasn't been anything special. I just don't. Derek Carr has been a total letdown there, and I just feel like Chris Olave's stock's been ruined. He's having a year when people thought he was going to boom. After last year, he was going crazy. So I'm just I'm not a believer in the Saints. I'm not a believer in Dennis Allen, and I'm not a believer in Derek Carr.
Yeah, I gotta be honest with you, man. I think they're the best team in the division, but I don't think it really says much. I mean, if I had to do a dart throw, I probably would lean the Falcons to win this division.
I think the Bucks are the best team in that division. I
think so too. I think they're the most complete team.
They are
in that division. Their defense can be had at some points, but overall they've been pretty good this year. Their offense has been somewhat competent.
If the Saints, the Falcons, and the Buccaneers, who do you think, say that one of those teams is going to be a 7th seed? No, they would be the 4th seed.
They would have to be a 4th seed.
What team wouldn't want to play? What out of those 3 teams, which one would you want to play the least? Because for me, the lead team I would want to play
would be the Bucks.
Would be the Bucks.
Yeah, because Baker has playoff experience.
Yep.
And it's just one of those games that you don't want to play against somebody that's going to give everything they got.
Yep.
And Baker is that kind of guy. Like he will go toe to toe with you. He doesn't care who's on the opposite side. He could be playing against Patrick Mahomes, and he's going to go balls to the wall.
He did 2 years ago.
I feel like he's the kind of player that the better the opposition is, the better he plays.
Yeah, he don't get that lump in his throat and get nervous.
Yeah, agreed.
All right, let's go to the AFC. Going and the Broncos.
I think it's cute. I think the story is great. I think I think they peaked. I think they're gonna. I think yep. They've piqued everybody's interest here. I think Russell Wilson kind of bought himself some time in this league. This last 6 weeks, they've been excellent. I mean, what's there to say about the Broncos? You got to tip your cap to the whole organization. That is, Cortland Sutton's not talked about enough. He's been awesome this year. The guy just scores touchdowns every week. I mean, it doesn't matter. I mean, he finds a way to get into the end zone, and nobody talks about him. It's criminal. It's absolutely criminal. But to me, the Broncos, I think they're a pretender. I think their schedule doesn't really favor them getting into the playoffs.
Their schedule is brutal.
Right. And you know what? And if they get into the playoffs,
good for them.
Good for them. Good for them, man, because this schedule is pretty tough to
if they get into the playoffs, they earned it.
Absolutely.
Without a doubt. Especially what were they, 1-5?
Yeah, they were 1-5. I mean, we were talking to them being like, what, 3-14?
Yeah.
I mean, they've completely turned it around.
I think I said I'd be shocked if they won 4 games.
Yeah. And they have exceeded our expectations. So, shout out to Russ and them, but I think they're a pretender.
Steelers. I think they're a pretender also.
Yeah.
They had a really good hot streak, but the schedule doesn't allow them to do that. They lost too many good games. Steelers.
I actually had the Steelers as contenders because I feel like Pittsburgh, they haven't played just like the Eagles, but the Eagles, the only difference between them is they're winning. The Steelers, they're winning. I mean, it's a miracle how they've won 6 games with their offensive situation. So now that they fired Matt Canada, which they needed to, they can flip a switch here. And if they could score at least 20 plus per week with this defense, I think they can make some noise. They play the Bengals, they play the Cardinals, the Patriots, the Colts, the Bengals again, the Seahawks, and the Ravens. Their hardest games are the last 2. So if they can go on a winning streak here and, sneak into the playoffs, the Steelers can absolutely upset somebody week 1 and make some noise here in the playoffs because defense will travel. And if they can run the football and they can figure out a way to split the carries between Jaylen Warren and Najee Harris, then I think all would be well in Pittsburgh once they can figure it out. But they need to get their wide receivers involved. They have too much talent on the outside for them to not be putting up big points. I'm sorry. This is Kenny Pickett's time now or forever be done, because I don't think he's going to move. I don't think he'll be the Pittsburgh quarterback if he doesn't make the playoffs.
I agree. I think the Steelers are contenders. They're hard to trust, and that's really what it is. But it's remarkable what Tomlin does year in and year out to always be in the thick of it, winning games and stuff like that with a trash ass offense. So I like the Steelers. I had them making the playoffs before the year started. They were my surprise team. I was wrong, though. I thought Kenny Pickett was going to be that quarterback that took a huge jump this year. Maybe it really was the OC and the play calling, and now he'll take off. That remains to be seen, but
you never know.
Yeah.
Absolutely. You never know.
Speaking of never knowing about offensive coordinators, what about the Bills?
I think they're contenders just because of their quarterback. But their schedule, man, I gotta be honest with you, it is murderer's row, yo.
Is it?
Like this is probably the hardest schedule left. It has to be. They play the Eagles.
L.
They play the Chiefs.
L.
They play the Cowboys.
L.
They play the Chargers.
Win.
They play the Patriots, and then they play the Dolphins. I mean, they got some tough games. I think if they can get
the next 4 games are tough.
If they can get out of the next 4 games 3-1, I think they're going to be okay. I think they'll make the playoffs, but they have to go 3-1. So, do they beat the Eagles or do they lose? We'll see. We'll find out. We'll tell you guys our picks later. But that's a big game for them. This is a huge game for them. So,
who they got this week? Oh yeah, they play the Eagles. I'm sorry.
They play the Eagles. The Kelly Greens. They're rocking the Kelly Greens, baby. That's awesome. That's fucking fire.
The Bills are some pretenders. They're not winning the Super Bowl.
They some shit.
Yeah, they some shit. They're not winning a Super Bowl. They're not going to a Super Bowl. They're not going to an AFC Championship game. They don't have the personnel.
You're mean.
They have the quarterback, I think, but they don't have the personnel.
I think that's crazy. You see the way that he just throws the jab.
You got Stephon Diggs and he got 34 yards.
That's not what you think that's an indictment on the quarterback?
Oh yeah, you can't find them
because Dalton Kincaid looks like he all right.
Dalton Kincaid is shit.
That's what I'm saying. Really so who's who?
No, I'm just. The episode name. Who's who? So I just they're just not doing it. They have too many. You can't do what they did in the AFC. You can't slide like that. You know what I'm saying?
I agree with you.
So yeah, it's over for them. It sucks. Josh Allen and Joe Burrow are going to be out of the playoffs. But it makes it for more excitement.
I think so too. That's why I love the NFL. It's a lot more parity now, man.
All right.
Ain't the same bullshit.
Week 11 recap. Eagles get revenge from the Super Bowl with a win over the Chiefs, 21-17. Shout out Nick Wright. And shout out to the guy on Twitter that blocked me when he thought that he could go toe-to-toe with me and tweet trolling. Got blocked inside of 10 minutes.
That's so funny.
Did the Eagles win this game or did the Chiefs blow it?
Dude, for anybody that thinks that the Eagles didn't win this game, they don't know what they're talking about.
Go on.
The Eagles made the adjustments at halftime, just like the Chiefs did in the Super Bowl. It's just ironic that the Eagles flipped the script. The Eagles gave up 5 sacks in the first half. The second half, they gave up 0. Chiefs defense, by the way, they played excellent. I mean, Chris Jones and McDuffie, they had a game. They had a great game. Chiefs offense in the first half, let's talk about it. They converted 6 out of 8 third downs. In the second half, they only converted 2 out of 9. So the Eagles made the adjustments to win this football game. I understand they dropped the passes, but if you're going to hold on to a game by one play, then you got to look at the multiple. There's a lot more plays that happen than just that one drop pass. So that was a big moment, of course, but it wasn't the reason, the Eagles did not win this game. The Eagles have actually won this game.
You know what cracks me up? Okay. Marquez Valdez-Scantling dropping that ball, that was the reason that the Chiefs lost. So Jimmy Garoppolo overthrowing Emmanuel Sanders, is that the reason Patrick Mahomes won his first Super Bowl? No. That's what I'm saying. You're picking and choosing here. I don't know what to tell you. The Eagles are the best team in the league. Teams that win one-score games in shit conditions like that, and you said it, the second half adjustments. I can't help that you have these bum-ass, trash-ass wide receivers. You're not winning with that sorry group of dudes. It's me, you, and Tom and Broadbent out there playing on the rec center.
That's crazy. That's
what he's throwing to. I mean, and we were better than them.
That's a list.
We were better than them because all of us had hands.
That's a fact.
So my thing is you made that bed. Now you have to lay in it. I don't want to hear about that. I kept saying that. And then D-Hop would help them. D-Hop's doing all right in Tennessee with nothing. You said no to D-Hop. He could have helped you this year. You put D-Hop on that team, and yeah, you're a Super Bowl favorite.
Right. No doubt about it.
Nobody, and now teams are figuring out. You put 3 guys on Travis Kelce.
They did. They had 2 guys on
Rashee Rice, MVS, and Sky Moore and McCole Hardman. They're not beating anybody one-on-one. And Justin Watson. Like, Mahomes, you not Kobe. Mahomes is not on Tom Brady's level like
You're
that.
Not Kobe Bryant to us.
Yeah, like stop that. Like, it's just so annoying. People, the problem is now is the Eagles are so good that you're just nitpicking.
Yeah.
That's all it is. The Eagles won this game. You came out and shut out the Chiefs in the second half, just like they have the last 3 weeks when they haven't scored a second half point. Because their offense just isn't good. And if you can get a lead on the Chiefs, it's not like it was 3 years ago. It's not bombs away anymore.
Right.
You can play regular defenses because you don't have Tyreek Hill taking a 30-yard slant, 80 yards for or 70 yards for a touchdown anymore.
Right.
He did it in Buffalo.
Yeah.
And that 13-second game. He did that slant from the left side across the middle. He got it and he ran to the end zone. You're not scoring points in 2 minutes, in a minute anymore.
Now you take that away from your offense. I know they won last year without it, but it's a different year. I think teams catch up. They realize, okay, let's double Travis Kelce. If you roll the tape from last year, week 1, I'm talking about 2022, week 1. I said it. I said, if you double Travis Kelce, they have nothing on the outside that could beat you. So why don't you double Travis Kelce and get after Mahomes and allow him to make the throws when he needs to these bum-ass wide receivers? I said this last year, and now that is the blueprint. Absolutely. The Eagles, they took Travis Kelce out of that game. I know he scored a touchdown, but other than that, he wasn't really effective.
He dropped that ball.
Yeah.
And that was because he got his 5th booster.
Well, no. He dropped the ball on that 3rd down, right? You're talking about on the last drive?
Yeah, and then he made up for it.
Well, he made up for it. Yeah, that's fine.
But still.
But, the bottom line was the turning point in this game was the 2 turnovers by the Chiefs in the red zone. That was the Eagles winning the turnover battle, won them the football game.
Kevin Byard. The interception of Kevin Byard.
Won them the football game. Yeah, absolutely. But the Travis Kelce fumble to me was the play of the game. It kept the Eagles alive.
No, see, I'm the opposite. I think when
it kept the Eagles alive.
Interception, I feel like it
was 17-14. The Chiefs were getting ready to score because they just went because the Chiefs just got it on 4th and 1 at the Eagles 14-yard line. So they were knocking on the door to score a touchdown. And if they do, they're back up to 10. So this was an absolutely big play by the Eagles. Bradley Roby just completely punched the ball right out of Travis Kelce's hands. I mean, to me, that's outstanding defense. I don't think that's luck. I am so far against the whole luck thing.
Luck.
If you watch the tape, he punched the ball out strategically because the way he was holding it, he thought that he could take advantage and punch the ball out, and he did. And it saved the Eagles because I think if that doesn't happen, I don't think the Eagles come out here victorious, possibly.
Look, all I'm going to say.
I don't know. I think it's a different game.
Fumbling is part of the game. Interceptions are part of the game. Jalen Hurts, he threw an interception. Yeah, because it was a breakdown because AJ saw him creeping in. So AJ went deep and Hurts thought he was going to cut in. And it's like, okay. But when he needed to, with 6 minutes left in the 4th quarter, he threw a dot to Devontae Smith on the 1-yard line. It is what it is. Yeah. And not for nothing, but Hurts played a great second half. The Eagles just stay in it, find ways to fight, and just find ways to win games. And that's what you need. And like I said, like I've been saying for weeks, we can beat you any way. If you want to play it your way, we can beat you that way. We can beat you our way. That's what good teams need. You need to be able to beat teams in different variety of ways. But I do have concerns with the Eagles. Like, I'm not going to say that. I do. Yeah. Their offense starts out so slow.
So slow. It wasn't like that last year.
Like when they got that 1 turnover and then they went 3 and out, those are 3 of the worst play calls I've ever seen. It was a screen to Julio Jones.
Well, no. They went 3 and out on both their turnovers.
I'm talking about the one, was it Travis Kelce where they did the screen to Julio Jones?
Yes.
Where I'm sitting there, I'm like, bro, what the fuck are you doing?
They did 2 bubble screens in a row.
He's 40.
I just, yeah, that's questionable. I mean, I don't think that's Julio's strength.
But Jalen Hurts, I will say, like when he ran in that long touchdown, he looked more like himself, like quickly exploding through that gap.
Sure.
He was able to do that, which I don't think he wasn't in the first part of the season.
And that's why I think everybody was overreacting to his injury. I mean, I never thought that it was serious.
Who?
Because when he got hurt a couple games ago, remember, I think it was Dallas, right? Where his knee, he didn't get any scans or anything. Like there was no other, no other reports.
I think they just said he had
talking
a bone,
about
he had a bone bruise.
I think he was fine. I mean, he looked great to me. I don't know. I mean, and now there's a lot of chatter about him being the MVP. I'm not there yet. I'm not. Statistically, he's not an MVP caliber quarterback.
He's the betting favorite.
He's awesome. He's winning games, sure. But is it in spite of him?
No, it's not in spite.
Because there is a lot of chatter where you could like throw in any quarterback and they can succeed in the
yeah. No, I see.
Which I think is garbage.
I think that's super cap.
I think it's super cap too. He's awesome.
He's the second best quarterback in the league right now.
Ooh, you put him at QB2?
Yeah, who's better than him this year?
So in a draft, you're taking Jalen Hurts number 2 overall?
Are you saying like if everybody's healthy?
Yeah.
I'm taking him 3rd.
Wow. That's interesting.
No, it ain't. It's common sense.
I think so.
Nah, you got Hurts, then you got Hurts. You got Mahomes, and then you got Burrow, and then I would go Jalen Hurts. He protects the football. He makes smart decisions. He's a leader of men. He's great at the podium. His guys love him. His head coach loves him. His head coach trusts him. Each year you've seen improvement. He took over an organization in dysfunctional chaos.
Let me ask you a question.
With a rookie head coach.
What would the narrative be if Justin Herbert was an Eagle?
What do you mean?
If Justin Herbert was an Eagle, if he was our quarterback,
yeah,
what would the narrative be for him right now?
If he had, the same success as Hurts?
Yeah.
He's the second best quarterback in the league. Their best quarterback.
But do you think he would have the same success? Do you think it would be up there, like statistically winning percentages and everything?
I think he would have him. He has more arm talent, so I think he would be better than him statistically. But as far as like the decision making and stuff, no, I can't sit here and say with 100% confidence that Justin Herbert would be able to outperform Jalen Hurts. I think Jalen Hurts is a better decision maker. Like, yeah, you can have a better arm, but do you make bad decisions? Josh Allen has the best arm in the league, but he makes bad decisions.
Well, I say fuck the bad decisions. I'm talking about I would probably lean Hurts just because he could do more with his legs. Like, I think that's a factor. I think that's what keeps defense on the heels, because when you got 2 dynamic wide receivers and you have a quarterback that can run, now you got threats all over the place. You got to defend everything.
Yeah.
That's hard.
If you put Lamar Jackson on the Eagles, I think Lamar Jackson's in the same spot.
Absolutely. I think I would probably lean towards that way.
Yeah. I just, and I think that if you put Jalen Hurts on Baltimore's in the same position too, because they're built similar. The problem with Baltimore is they're built on running and defense, but they have no wideouts, and that's why I always defend Lamar Jackson. Except this year, he's got, Odell actually looks awesome.
Yeah, he's been turning it up the last.
As crazy as that sounds, he's been awesome. Yep. So I just know I don't think if you put Justin Herbert in Philly on there and handling the media and all that, all that stuff gets baked into that. Can you handle the media and the constant scrutiny?
Yep. I agree.
He took over an organization in the toilet.
I think he can handle it.
Went 9-8, made the playoffs, lost to Tom Brady, came back, almost won MVP, went to the Super Bowl. Now he's back. He started 9-1 again this season. He's in the MVP race. What more do you need to see? I don't need to make it harder for myself. I can see it with my own eyes. Lions beat the Bears 31-26. That game was nuts.
That game was crazy. That's a really good game.
Justin Fields falls to 6-26 as a starter. You think he's their QB next year?
Nope. I've said it all along. I just didn't. I never believed them. I never believed them in off the rip. I don't think he's progressed. Very disappointing year for him, especially for for Chicago fans that had high expectations in the offseason, talking about this team could be a playoff team, and they made some really great moves, and they got Justin Fields, and that he's a second coming of Chicago, and he's the next, the next best quarterback that came from Ohio State, all this shit, man. And he just completely disappointed. The problem with today for him is that these other younger quarterbacks are having success.
Mm-hmm.
CJ Stroud, Trevor Lawrence, Joe Burrow, like there's other quarterbacks. Yeah, there's successful wise, I'm talking, he's statistically great, but I'm talking about playoffs, he's not.
Oh, yeah.
But what I'm talking about is like when you see around the league that these quarterbacks are, they're shining right now. They're playing excellent football, and your franchise quarterback is playing 6-26 as a starter. I gotta think he's out of here, man. And I just think the time's ticking on him. I really do. I mean, there's no way in hell Daniel Jones should have or would have lasted any longer than 3 or 4 years with any other franchise.
Who?
Daniel Jones.
No.
He got lucky to be drafted with the Giants.
Yep.
The Giants are so damn stupid, because if he was drafted by another team, he would have been out of there after year 2, year 3. They would have moved on a long time ago. They would have just said, hey, you know what? We made a mistake on draft night and we're going to move on. But like I said, I think that the young quarterbacks that have been successful to this point have put a lot of pressure on the younger quarterbacks that haven't had success in the beginning of their career.
Look, bro. He's 6-26 as a starter.
That's all you need to say.
I don't need to say anything else. He missed another dude wide open in the end zone. He's throwing a little fade route, and he's throwing it fucking 35 yards over the end zone. Like, Justin Fields is just, it could be the situation.
Yeah.
But I don't know. People banged on Matt Nagy, and Matt Nagy took Mitch Trubisky to the playoffs. So when I look at that, I'm just like, bro, really good quarterbacks find ways to win. But the difference is with Justin Herbert, there's benefit of the doubt where you're like, all right, their defense is really ass. Brandon Staley is really ass. But with Justin Fields, he looks really ass. Like, Justin Herbert doesn't look ass. He just has plateaued because he came into the league and his projection was like that.
Yep.
But he got to here and just went flat. Okay. But you've seen him be really, really great. You have Justin Fields. It's like, all right, bro, there was like 3 times that you're like, all right, here we go. If you can pinpoint single moments, I just don't know what to tell you. He's 6-26 as a starter. He's not their quarterback.
Yeah, I agree.
Lose out, get a quarterback next year. Justin Fields, go learn. You'd be a good backup behind Justin Herbert.
Although I gotta say, I think Caleb Williams' stock kind of tanked a little bit over the last couple of weeks.
I don't care what anybody says. You can call me crazy. I'm not going against the grain. I'm not trying to say it's to be opposite. Caleb Williams is some shit. He
might be okay in the next level because he does have the tools. But I mean, look, you gotta. I mean, everybody's searching for the next Patrick Mahomes.
I am not a fan of him.
Breed.
He plays, dude. No quarterbacks from USC come out here and are good.
No, I agree with that.
That's number 1.
Matt Leinart.
Number 2, when he started playing,
Carson Palmer was good.
When he started playing, but he bloomed after with Bruce Arians.
Sure.
With Caleb, those defenses he played, when he plays good defenses, his numbers are ass. And I just like, I'm not even going to go there because we're going to get canceled. But we'll talk about that after the show. I'm just not I don't think Caleb Williams is going to come in the league and set the league on fire.
Yeah.
They also said the same thing about Trevor Lawrence, and Trevor Lawrence was fucking garbage.
Yeah, that's fair.
And last year, Trevor Lawrence was 3-8 before they got hot.
Yep.
So he hasn't exactly stopped. But no, I don't think Caleb Williams is coming into the league next year, and that team's automatically a contender.
No, I'm right with you.
Totally 100%. 100%.
Agree.
Do you think the Lions are primed for the 1 seed?
I'm gonna go out on a limb and say no.
The remaining schedule is the Packers, the Saints, the Bears, the Broncos, the Vikings, the Cowboys, and the Vikings.
Yeah, I get it, man. I'm going to go out and say no. I think they lose 1 or 2 games here. The possible losses, I'll say, is the Saints, the Vikings once, and the Cowboys.
Bro, what's up with you and the Saints, bro? Let it go.
Well, no, I think it's a hard game because it's in New Orleans. I think it's always a tough game. They're always going to give you a fight. And I'm just saying it's a possible loss. I didn't say they were going to lose. Listen, open up your fucking ears. I didn't say anything else. Yeah, I'm talking to you. I said they're going to lose to the Saints, possible.
Yeah, walk out there and check that attitude and then come back in here.
Vikings once and the Cowboys. You know, but what helps them, though, along with the Eagles, is that all of their losses have been to an AFC opponent, just like the Eagles lost to the Jets. So, you know, I mean, look, they're in good position. I just don't think it's happening.
I said it before when I looked. I forget what episode it was when we were talking about it. It was about 3 or 4 weeks ago, and I said that I think the Lions are going to be the 1 seed. I was with your dad, and we were talking about it, and I said I thought the Lions were going to be the 1 seed because of their schedule. And I said there's one team on here that I think that they could lose to, and that would be the Cowboys. That's it. I think they win. They win every other game.
I think you're giving a little bit too much credit, but
no, I think their defense is improved.
I get it.
They got Hutch. They got
Hutch is insane.
They got DC.
That's crazy.
They got JG. They got Gibbs, who looks awesome. They got the Sun God. They got Seamus Reynolds.
Reynolds.
They're just good. They're a good team.
It's a great pick.
They're really good, man. And I just feel like, for me, nobody believes in the Lions because they're the Lions, but they're a scary team.
Yep.
They're a scary team. And I really think that they may have that 1 seed, dude. I really do, because they have the easiest schedule remaining.
I think you're sniffing shit over there, bro.
Nah.
You think they have an easy schedule? I mean, I don't think it's hard, but I don't think the Vikings are a cakewalk, man.
Packers are doo-doo. Saints are doo-doo. Bears are doo-doo. Broncos are doo-doo. Vikings are doo-doo. Cowboys are good. Vikings are doo-doo.
I don't know about doo-doo. I think they'll give you a fight.
All right, they're okay.
Anything can happen, bro.
All right. We'll see.
I think the Vikings will give them a run. It's
all I'm saying is that the NFC play, the road to the Super Bowl through the NFC, might run through the shelter.
The shelter is insane. Yeah.
We might go see David Porter.
An 8 Mile?
Yeah, we might go see David Porter in the Motor City.
David fucking Porter is crazy.
Back to Justin Herbert. Packers beat the Chargers 23-20. Chargers are now 4-6. Man. It's over for the Chargers, bro. You put the kibosh on them.
I did. I have them in the Super Bowl.
Why would you do that? Why would you do such things, bro?
I had high hopes, you know, just like everybody else.
So did Harry Callis.
I got duped. Call it what it is. I got duped, bro. I got duped. I mean, I feel duped. This team is so disappointing. If you ever see the Chargers in a close game, bet the fucking house on the opposing team.
Yo, that's a good live bet.
Bet the fucking house on the opposing team. Money line, I don't care. Bet the fucking crib, because this team in close games ain't winning. They are so bad. We talked about it last week. They lost like what, four games by 9 points total. That's insane. And now they just lost another game. What?
I texted Liz.
Oh, what? You getting some special service here?
Yeah, she made me.
I wanted a hot chocolate.
And oh, what the fuck? I didn't even get a hot chocolate.
And she put marshmallows in it.
I didn't even get. I didn't even get ass.
That'll do that.
I didn't even get ass. That's insane. That's all good. It's okay.
Oh, she let it sit out a little too long. We got cold chocolate, but it's all right.
That's okay. Well, hey, look,
I'm just playing. Listen, thank you so much.
It's better than nothing. I literally live here and pay the bills, and I didn't even get asked. But anyway,
the problem is, she was just listening to you in the other room, and she was like, "I don't support this dude.
That's all right.
I can't support these fakes."
It happens. Still love her.
Of course, she's the best.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead. What were you saying?
We were rapping about the
Chargers.
The Chargers.
Live bet them in a close game.
Live bet the opposing team in a close game. I'm telling you, man. Like they just lose games. It's the weirdest thing ever. And Brandon Staley, he's getting his ass out of there. They have to find another head coach. They have to. They have to get somebody that can get in there and win the close games when it matters most. You have the quarterback. You got a good wide receiver in Keenan Allen, who's having a fantastic year. And you're wasting it. And it's a shame. And I know Mike Williams is out, but you have to get your other guys involved, which they did. Justin Herbert did make that throw. Let's not sit here and bullshit. He made the throw when it mattered the most, and the guy dropped it. It's a shame. That record just goes on Herbert.
Yep.
It goes on him. I mean, the loss goes on him, and that sucks. So, yeah, the Chargers need to clean up this team. They need to get, fresh blood in there and get a coach to where everybody could buy into their system. I mean, this guy's a fucking defensive head coach. and their defense is fucking ass. it's so garbage. I mean, look, they're 12th against the run, but they're dead last in pass defense. They're dead last. This team is garbage. I just don't understand. You have a defensive head coach and your defense is ass. All right, you're the problem, bro. You're the problem. Your offense is playing great. Your offense is scoring. What do you want them to do? But your defense is just not it, man.
Yeah, look, the Chargers are missing the playoffs, man. There's some shit. And what this do to Herbert's legacy? It's got a coffee stain on it.
Coffee stain.
It's got a brown stain in the middle of it because it's like you made the playoffs one time, you blew a 28-0 lead, and the next year you follow up by missing the playoffs. And I know Brandon Staley's a dummy. I get it. He's a fucking dummy. But like, come on, bro.
You know, every time you say, "Oh yeah, this team made the playoffs," like to me, it's not really as impressive as it used to be because the playoffs used to be 6 teams. Now you have these bullshit 7 teams, which is kind of fire. I do like it. I like the format. I'm not hating. But I'm just saying, like making the playoffs, that shouldn't be the end all be all, man. When you're regarded as an elite quarterback,
it's important.
Like elite quarterbacks, we put Peyton Manning is an elite. Yeah. That's an elite quarterback. Not somebody that never won a playoff game and he just lights the world on fire in the regular season and puts up great statistics. I'm not saying he's a bad player at all, but when it matters the most, they haven't done it for him yet, and he hasn't done it himself. And he's had the opportunities. You were up 28-0 in the playoffs and you blew the game. That's on you. That's not your defense. That was on you too. You have to take some blame for that.
Do you think the Chargers should move on from Brandon Staley?
Absolutely. Fucking slam dunk. I pack his bags tomorrow. And like I said, he's defensive head coach.
Who would you bring him in to replace him?
Defense is ass.
Who would you bring?
I don't know. I would get Sean Merriman as an interim head coach. Just like that's what seems like the popular thing to do.
They should go
lights out, baby.
They should recruit the shit out of.
No, that's crazy. That's crazy.
Recruit the shit out of Jim Harbaugh.
That's a possibility. That's absolutely a possibility.
Justin Herbert is built like Colin Kaepernick. And look what he did with the 49ers. He was running through teams.
Yeah. I could see the comparison.
They almost won a Super Bowl.
I think Cap's a lot better athletically.
Well, he was.
But also, I mean, I'm not going to sleep on.
Insane Paul's. He was thicker, but they're both tall. They both got big arms. They both can run. But Justin Herbert doesn't run that much because he's a better thrower. But I feel like if you put Jim Harbaugh over there with that squad, shit.
What's the expectations though? I mean, like just because you have the quarterback, you have to get the defense right too.
Yeah, but I think it's
they're dead last against the pass. You're in a passing league and your defense is dead last and against the pass. Well, the defensive mind head coach. How the fuck does that make sense? Just move on. You're not. I mean, from here on out. I mean, look, until they are mathematically eliminated, he will be there. But he's not lasting the full season because I don't think the Chargers are going to go on a run. I don't see it.
No, they're not.
I think they're just one of those mediocre teams that just hang in. They're like Seattle. They're good. I mean,
you never know what team you're getting week to week.
Yeah.
Well, with the Chargers, you do. You know that they're going to score points and
they're going to blow a close game.
Up more points.
They're going to blow a close game. It happens all the time.
Yo, this hot chocolate list mate is hitting.
I know.
You got to get some.
She's great. I know. It would have been great.
All right, let's go to the Turkey Bowl games tomorrow. Packers at Lions. Lions -7.5. Packers need a win to stay in the playoff hunt. Lions also need a win if they want to get that 1 seed. Who needs this game more and who wins?
I like the Lions here. I think they know what's at stake. This is a really big game for Detroit. And here's a stat for you. Detroit is 11-1 against the spread in division in the last 12 division games.
Love that.
That's crazy.
Well, I'm gonna make them 11-2 because I'm gonna take the Lions tomorrow.
I'm taking the Lions. I'm taking the Lions, and I'm taking them outright. I think they're the better team. I think Green Bay is gonna hang in there in the first half because I think they can move the football with the Lions. But I think overall the Lions will make the second half adjustments, and then that's gonna be the difference in the football game.
I'm taking the Lions both ways. I think the Lions are going to dominate them. They're a better team. They're more physical. They're better coached. They're better prepared. They have a better quarterback. They have a better wide receiver group. They have a better running game. Aaron Jones is going to be out because he messed his knee up. Yeah, the Packers are just not on that level.
Oh, shit. Aaron Jones is out?
Yeah.
Who got running back?
Peyton Hillis.
Oh, Christ.
I told you I'm not talking about fantasy no more.
I'm sorry.
I'm broken.
I'm just trying to help you.
That's crazy. I'm a broken individual.
Why is that crazy?
And you're gonna sit there and pounce on me? That's crazy.
I'm not pouncing on you. I just said I'm just trying to help you. I think that's an honorable friend to come on here on live stream in front of people,
in front of thousands all over the world,
and say, I'm here to help you. I mean, I think everybody would be like, damn, Nick's a good friend, and you're over here shitting on me. That's crazy. Say the disrespect.
You want to move on, or you want to keep going on? All right, thank you. I appreciate it. You let me know.
Okay, yeah,
I will.
Me know,
it's my show. It's your show.
Yeah, you got it.
Yeah, you're managing member, not me.
Yeah, at least we're on the same page. That's
it's
great.
Your name. It's your name that signs the dotted line.
I love it.
Commanders at the Cowboys. Cowboys minus 12.5. Does Dallas keep it rolling?
Oh, absolutely. They're going to smack the shit out of the Commanders.
I don't even need to ask you no more.
They're going to smack their defense should create turnovers against Sam Howell. The Commanders have given up the second most sacks in the NFL with 51 total. Dallas should have their way on the offense here, on the offensive side of the ball too as well. The Commanders have given up the second most passing yards in the league. And the last 5 weeks, Dak has been excellent. Dak has been lighting the league on fire with over 1,500 passing yards, 14 touchdowns, and 2 picks in the last 5 weeks. He's been on fire. This is a bad combination for the Commanders. I think Dallas is going to keep it rolling.
I think Dallas smacks them
for sure.
I really do. I would be. Look, Washington, for some odd reason, they always play the Eagles tough. They always play divisional opponents tough. When Dallas is a weird team, because when Dallas plays a bad team, 9 times out of 10, they beat them down.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I expect Dak Prescott to be out of this game in the third quarter.
I hope not for fantasy purposes, because then I'm fucked.
Yeah, well,
I agree with you.
I'm just saying, like, I would be shocked if Dak played in the fourth quarter, because I really think they're gonna give him a beatdown.
Yeah, I think so.
I really do. And what do I want to see from Dallas is, like,
they're gonna be smacking it up in rhythm.
Yeah, absolutely. I want to see from Dallas. I want to see them feed Tony Pollard the way they did last week, because Tony Pollard actually looked like he knew what he was doing again.
Yep.
That's because he realized he was playing me in fantasy, and he was like, you know what? I remember how to run the ball here.
Yeah,
dude.
I feel the same. I feel the same way. I think they need to have sustained success on the ground, and I think staying with running the football and not abandoning it. That's what I want to see from the Cowboys, because when it comes down to playoff time, they're going to have to run the football in order for them to win football games down the line. So for me, I want to see them get into a rhythm where they can be a little bit more balanced. And then I think, but not only just being balanced, I don't want to see Tony Pollard get fucking 2 yards a carry. Like, I think he's way better than that.
Yeah.
I just do. I think there's an underperformance there, and I want to see them take the next step and try to get into a rhythm, for a playoff push.
Do you think they're in a lose-lose? Because if they beat the Cowboys, it's like they beat a bum squad again. But if they lose, they're trash to the squad. It's like a double-edged sword.
It is, but I think it's fair. Because when called upon to beat a good team, they fall short. Yes, they have great wins over trash teams, but they lose in the biggest games that they played. So the performance against Philly, you can hang your hat on, right? Because, it was on the road against a damn good opponent in a hostile environment, but they still lost. They lost. They played great. They played good, but not good enough to win the game. So, what's the measuring stick for the Cowboys? They're beating up on everybody else, but when they play an actual good team, they're falling short. So what is the measuring stick? Like, where do they sit? Can they be a threat? Can they, or are they just, one of those teams that just look good, and then when it comes crunch time, they're always going to crumble?
I think it's fair, because you just said it perfectly, but until they beat good teams when it matters, and they don't look like that, they're always going to get shit like that. And it's like, yeah, like, it's fair. For me, it's the Eagles, the Lions, and the 49ers are the top dogs in the NFC. And then you have the Cowboys and the Seahawks are in Group B. Tier B, and that's just what I believe.
Yeah.
I know Dallas has a good defense, but not for nothing. They didn't have a good defense against the 49ers. They didn't have a good defense against the Eagles, because they let up more points than your offense scored.
Right.
So I don't want to hear it. You beat up on bad teams. Okay, cool. Dak Prescott, he's MVP. He's the highest graded quarterback this year. Okay, you just played 4 weak secondaries in a row.
Totally agree.
But how come when you come up against a big dog team, and not for nothing, with that weak secondary, you only score 23 points? It's like, okay, yeah, you threw for 385 yards. All right, bro, you scored 23 points. Like, okay, you didn't put it in where it mattered, and that's that.
What?
Come on, bro. I'm over here trying to get my analysis.
I know, but that was a little.
You didn't score a touchdown when it was needed, and that's just it is what it is with the Cowboys, and they will continue to be like that until they finally win a game.
You didn't put it in when it mattered.
Whatever, bro.
You horny yourself over there.
A little bit.
A little bit.
And then Thursday night game when I'll be smoked out and full up to my sternum from eating so much. 49ers -7 at the Seahawks. Do you think Geno Smith's job's on the line?
Absolutely, man. I think Geno is under a big microscope because, like I said, I just don't think he's played well this year. I feel like he's regressed, man. I just don't think he got better. He had a great year last year, which earned him the big contract, but this year, I look at Seattle and you know what, man, I feel like they underperformed, man. I mean, I think when they got JSN, they felt like, hey, we got three-headed monster here, a wide receiver, and we got an ascending Geno Smith along with Zach Charbonnet, along with Kenneth Walker. They thought that they had high hopes for this, for the season, and they do have the weapons, and JSN has caught on, as of late. Tyler Lockett's having a pretty good year, but I said it earlier, the connection with DK and him are way off. It's almost like they force feed DK to try to get in rhythm, but it's just not working. And I don't know. It's just been inconsistent play for Geno. I think he's definitely on the line. And I think the Niners are going to win this game.
I think it like 50% is because they did give him some money. I just feel like he's
1 year deal though.
Yeah,
essentially.
He was he was a bridge QB.
Sure.
And he served his purpose last year, and hopefully this year they can make the playoffs. And we'll see because they're not going to have a high enough pick to go get somebody.
Right.
So I don't know how that would work. I don't think if they lose to the 49ers, his job's on the line. I think if they miss the playoffs or something like that, though, that would be enough to say, like, see you later. I got the 49ers both ways in that too. Like I said, Geno, I think it was his arm or shoulder or his hand or something. I think it was his hand that he couldn't grip the ball.
Yeah, I think San Fran wins big here. I think they win by double digits.
I think they catch a body.
I do too. I really do. I think the only way that the Seattle can keep it close is through the air. That's their strength. And San Fran is 15th against the pass. So I think that's their key to victory. And obviously play good defense. But the Niners are tough. They're gonna give him a help. But the good thing about this game for the Seahawks is that they're home. That is a good thing. That's a good sign, especially on a holiday. Like, we're talking about player emotions here. Comfortability.
I'm so proud of you.
Comfortability. So, like, you know what, man? I like the Niners here. I kind of want to take the Seahawks now because of that. The points. I'll take the Seahawks. Sis. I'll take the Seahawks with the points. I feel like
you got them, sis.
Yeah, you know what? Somebody's going to cover here. Not everybody's getting blown the fuck out on Thanksgiving. It don't work like that.
Good observation.
It don't work like that.
If I had to bet one team here to blow it, it would be the Cowboys.
I would say the Lions. Green Bay's desperate for a win. They're the more desperate team.
And Seattle isn't?
Seattle is, yeah.
But that goes back to what you said. Cowboys.
But I would trust that the Packers could beat the Lions over the Seahawks beating the Niners. Because I respect the Niners. I think they're a good team. I think they're a good football team.
Yeah. All right. Let's do week 12. Trevor Lawrence versus CJ Stroud, a rematch. Jaguars -1.5 at the Texans. The Texans already beat the Jaguars. They busted them wide open. Who would you rather have as your quarterback for the next decade?
Wow. I'll be honest with you, man. I probably would go CJ Stroud. But it's tough.
It's early.
It's early. Like, the problem is it's early. Like, Trevor Lawrence, look, Jacksonville Jaguars, they were some shit before he even arrived. When he got there, yeah, he had a bad first year, but they actually
Urban Meyer.
It was Urban Meyer. Yeah, I mean, like, give the kid a fair shake here. Like, when he got Doug Peterson, they made the playoffs and won a playoff game. And that's why this year we had high expectations for him, and so did everybody else. So, I probably would go with Trevor Lawrence
because
I don't know. I don't know. It's too early, man.
I think it's too early to say. I think both QBs are going to be good. But
if you had to choose, though,
if I had to choose, like right now, it's hard because like I feel like if I say CJ Stroud, it's recency bias,
right?
But what I'm seeing from CJ Stroud is just like,
but ceiling wise, like who has a higher ceiling?
Trevor Lawrence, in my opinion.
Explain.
I think Trevor Lawrence's ceiling is like potentially to be named up with the best quarterbacks in the game.
Why?
When I just watch him, I just think he can ball. That's really the truth. I just watch him and I'm like, damn, he can ball. Now, CJ Stroud could do the same. It's just when Trevor Lawrence is on, he's on.
Yeah, that's true.
And like when he came out and he threw 4 interceptions and then battled back and won that game, that's a lot of adversity. Those are teaching moments, and he showed that he could have a quick memory, forget it, and move on. So I just feel like when Trevor Lawrence is on, he's balling, but he's just still a little inconsistent. Like this year too, like I thought they were going to be the 1 seed. I thought I thought he was the best bet for MVP at plus 1,700 or something like that, 1,200. And he's been a regular this year.
Yeah.
He really has. Like, I don't want to say mid, but he's been regular. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So who do you think wins this game?
I'm going to go with the Jags here. I think the Texans' fun has expired.
They're due.
And when I look at their wins, it's cool. I mean, I know they beat Joe Burrow, and I know they beat the Buccaneers in insane fashion. And you know, but they lost to the Panthers. I think people forget that. They lost to the Panthers before their win streak, and they only beat the Bucs by 2. What do people feel about the Bucs? They beat the Bengals. It's a good win. Great win on the road in Cincy. But I felt like it was a trap game for Cincinnati. We came up here and we talked about it.
Yep.
I hated the spot for Cincy. So, you know what? For them to win that game, I'm not really surprised. Then they played the Cardinals. They won by 5. You know, I mean, I don't know. I think the Jags are a better football team. I think the Texans are just hot. I think they're just riding momentum at the moment. But I'm going to take the better football team here, and I'm going to take the Jaguars.
Yeah, I got the Jags both ways. Texans already beat them, and the Texans are due.
And they whooped their ass, too.
Yeah, they're just
37-17.
I would be shocked if the Texans won this game.
I would be shocked.
If they won this game, I think CJ Stroud might have to be the MVP.
If he wins this game and they win again like 37-17,
yeah,
he has to be the favorite, right?
There's not going to be anything you can say anymore.
Unless Jalen Hurts is still the favorite.
He probably would be.
Jalen Hurts would still be the favorite just because of the record. But however, it ain't far-fetched because that would put the Texans at 7-4.
Yeah. They're going to win that division.
And who would have thought?
Who'd have thunk it?
They would be 7-4 if they win this game. This is a big division game. I mean, look, the Jags have to win this game to hold the comfortable lead. And because if the Jags lose this game, the Texans are in first place
and
because they own the tie. Yeah, they own the tiebreaker. So this is a massive game for the Jaguars, and I think they're going to come out swinging. I think it's, you know, the Texans are well coached though. They're going to do. It ain't going to be an easy game for the Jags.
I know. I'm looking forward to that game. It's one of my that's my favorite game of the weekend. Saints at Falcons. Falcons minus 1.5. Does the winner of this game win the division?
I think so. The Falcons, to me, I don't know. I'm going to change my answer on that. I don't think so. I don't think that the winner of this game wins the division because you're right about the Buccaneers. I think the Buccaneers can be creepy. I think the Buccaneers can make a run here and be quietly just come the 4 seed and just get into the playoffs and cause some noise. You don't know, but I think nobody's talking about them. So I like that, you know, that observation that you said earlier about the Buccaneers. I really do. So I'm going to say no. It does not win the winner. It doesn't win the division.
Yeah, no, the winner of this game doesn't win.
Well, I like the Saints here to win. I don't trust Desmond Ridder.
Oh yeah, he's starting again.
He's back. If it was Taylor Heineke, I probably would feel a little bit more comfortable taking the Falcons. I like Taylor Heineke. I mean, I know he's not a stat monster. I know he's not going to throw for 400 and wow you to death. But you know what? The guy makes plays and he plays with heart. I can respect that. I think guys can respect that and rally around them. So yeah, I probably would lean the Falcons, but I'll take the Saints here.
I'm going with the Saints because I think the Falcons are a dumb team. You draft a running back and you don't use them.
Right.
It just doesn't make any sense. I'm going with the Saints here.
And you don't use them in the red zone when it matters the most, when you need the points.
Idiot. Browns at the Broncos -1.5. Do you think the Broncos can beat them?
I think the Broncos. I mean, if this is the perfect moment to beat them because their quarterback situation.
Yeah.
What's his name? Dorian Thompson-Robinson. I mean, look, he made the plays when it mattered most last week. He made the plays when it matters most last week. He was impressive in preseason, and now he looked like a pretty decent quarterback. But the Broncos are hot. They're hot, and the Broncos are home. I'm leaning towards taking the Broncos here. But I had the Browns in the playoffs, so they have to win this game.
I do like the Broncos, man.
I like the Broncos here. I'm going to take the Broncos to win this game. I hate it.
Look,
I hate
there's
it.
There's a chance that the Broncos could fuck around and make the playoffs.
I don't think they're going to, though.
I don't think either, but I think like if the Bills lose to the Eagles Sunday, like it's going to start getting tricky for that 7th seed.
Well, I think the Bills are in the most trouble, schedule-wise.
Yes.
Their schedule is murderer's row.
Yeah.
I'd be shocked if the Bills made the playoffs.
Told you.
It's their schedule, so they buried themselves.
I know, and the Broncos did that too. I just like the Broncos in this game. I think they're playing well enough to. They're kind of clicking, and I feel like with the Browns, like they're coming off a big emotional win from last week, and it's just one of those letdowns. So I got the Broncos both ways. Speaking of the Bills play the Eagles. Eagles -3. That line dropped actually because it opened at 3.5. They're wearing their Kelly Greens.
Drop by 0.5 point. Yeah, the Kelly Greens are back. They're fire, and they should stick with them.
I know. Like, look at that. Bro. That's the best.
What's better than this? The Eagles is just insanely fire. The hoodie, the color scheme. Like,
you know what's crazy about this game?
Way better.
It's a must win for the Bills.
I think it's a must win for both parties though, because the Eagles, even though they came off a big win in KC, they have to stay afloat for the 1 seed. They have to.
I know. Yeah.
They have to win this game too.
They would still have a 2-game lead.
No, they wouldn't. The Lions are 8-2. The Lions are right up their ass.
Yeah.
The Lions are 8-2, and they have an easy ass opponent compared to the Eagles this week.
Here's the thing: the Eagles won't beat the Bills. I mean, the Bills won't beat the Eagles if the Eagles just play their game and not beat themselves.
I think the key to the game is going to be turnover battle. It's just like what happened with Kansas City.
Well, if it's that, we win because Josh has given at least one.
Well, we'll see because Jalen Hurts has been up there and giving up the ball too.
He has.
All right. So let's not pretend that he's been.
But he's not fumbling. He's not average. He's not giving you 2 interceptions and a fumble per game.
Well, what's Hurts' stat line compared to Allen's? How many picks does he have? Jalen Hurts has 9 picks, right? What's Josh Allen have?
12.
Josh Allen has 12.
Yeah.
Damn, you knew that right on top of your head, bro. You're prepared. That's awesome. You really do this. You're awesome.
And he's got 22 touchdowns.
And what he's got? 15-9. 15-9, 22-12. I mean, like it's not that far.
It's the same shit. It's the same shit.
It's the same shit, right?
Because honestly, the 3 less interceptions.
But what's funny is Jalen Hurts is in the MVP conversation and Josh Allen ain't because why? Because he's winning.
I was just gonna say that.
That's why I don't think I don't think Jalen Hurts is the MVP. I don't know who is yet.
If somebody asked me right now,
I don't know.
If somebody asked me right now, I would say CJ Stroud. I would not say Jalen Hurts. But when I was making the TikTok the other day, the reason I said that he might have punched his MVP ticket is because winning like that. No, Hurts.
Oh,
winning like that, just in that fashion against KC, and it's all narrative driven for MVPs.
If you held the gun to my head right now and I had to give you an MVP, I would struggle. I would struggle. I don't know. I mean, who realistically is the MVP of this league this year?
CJ Stroud.
I can make an argument. It's been Tyreek Hill.
You can say Jared, you can say Jared Goff.
I mean, any guy that could take a slant to the house like that. I mean, that's such an advantage. It happened for him this weekend, and they actually wound up winning by a touchdown.
Who? I know. Yeah,
that's the crazy thing.
He blew past them. There was 3 guys there.
He blew past them. They didn't even have a chance.
I know.
They all got burnt.
Who do you think wins this game? Bills or Eagles?
I think the Eagles will win this game. I think they're the better team. I think they win close games. The Bills don't. The Bills fail to win close games when it's do or die. I would trust the Eagles in these situations over the Bills. Absolutely. I mean, anybody can see that. I love Josh Allen. I do. But when you look at the track record of what's happening, it's just that in the close games, they haven't came through and the Eagles have. And that's just the bottom line. You know what I mean? Oh, you're raising up my mic?
I'm raising your mic.
Wow.
Damn, bro.
Well, we brought that back. That was
you
great.
Came to your senses.
Well, it's not coming to my senses. It's just the bottom line. It's what's happening.
3 years in, bro. I taught you so well, man. I taught you so much.
I still think Josh Allen is fucking awesome. I think he's a top 3 quarterback in this league, and I don't give a shit what anybody says. Absolutely, dude. I think his situation doesn't favor him.
I take that back.
For
you didn't learn a lot.
Whatever.
Look, we're 2-0 with me picking against the Eagles, so I'm gonna say the Bills win this one this week.
Oh my god, yo,
I'm superstitious.
Yo, get the meat out of your mouth, man. Ain't no way you believe that shit, bro. You're an Eagles fan. You think they're gonna lose to the Bills after you trash Josh Allen?
Oh yeah, Josh is coming to play. Josh is coming to play. He's gonna torch Bradbury. He's gonna torch Slay.
That is insane to me. You want to talk about inconsistent as fuck. You said the Eagles are the best team. They're the best team. They're 9-1. Nobody could beat them. Nobody could fuck with them. And then Josh Allen, he's a turnover machine. He can't win the close games. He struggles. He chokes, blah, blah, blah. And you're going to pick him to beat the Eagles? You're out of your fucking mind. You're out of your fucking mind, bro. And you know it. Yeah, you should. Yeah, you should rethink that. That's exactly the position you should be in.
I know. You know what's crazy is you just went on this whole little fucking spiel of you trying to jump down my throat, and you didn't obviously know I was trolling. You didn't hear me. I said the last 2 weeks I picked against the Eagles, and they've won, so I'm going to keep it going.
Okay, so that means you took the Bills.
I was trolling on that.
All right, for in your heart of hearts, who's winning this game?
The Eagles, bro.
Okay.
They're a better coach team. They have a better offense. They have a better quarterback.
I like it. Keep the trend going, Pauls. That's what Dave says. All right. So you picked the Bills.
See, you just needed an opportunity to snap on me.
I didn't want to snap on you.
Okay.
I just think it's inconsistent. No. I just couldn't believe you actually had to troll me like that. I'm
keep you on your
baffled.
toes.
I'm good. I'm here. I'm present.
Told me I'm looking exhausted. You hit it right on the nose, but that's what it is. No, the Eagles are going to bust them wide open.
I agree.
Better offense, better quarterback.
Do the Eagles cover the 3?
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a field goal game.
I think this is one of them games where the Eagles could groove a little bit. They could groove a little bit.
The defense can be had in Buffalo. Absolutely. No doubt about it. We talk about it all the time.
That's what I'm saying.
I think the Eagles are going to control
the only thing that concerns me about this game, honest to God, the 49ers are next week.
The Eagles are going to control the line of scrimmage in this game.
But the Eagles are good at making sure they stay on track for one game at a time. So I'm taking the Eagles both ways.
I am worried about Diggs' matchup, though.
Yeah, he's going to torch him.
He's going to eat.
Yeah, he's going to have 12 catches for 300.
Yeah, and Kincaid.
Ravens -3.5 at the Chargers. Is it over for the Chargers?
Oh yeah, it's lights out. Lights out. The power's out. It's over. I think the Ravens are going to win this game. I think the Ravens are going to. I think they're just going to pass all over them. I think Lamar is going to have a nice passing day. I know he doesn't have Mark Andrews, but that kid Isaiah Likely, he could play.
He's good.
I think he is good. And it seems like the Ravens wide receivers have kind of picked it up a little bit. I'm a little disappointed in Zay Flowers. I think they can get him going involved, especially in this. This is the game to do it. This is the actual game for Zay Flowers to show out. And I think he's actually going to score. I think this is the week he gets a touchdown. I think he has a big game. I think because the Chargers defense is dead last against the pass. And Lamar's not a bum in terms of throwing the football. I think he could deliver the football. The key of the game for the Ravens is keeping Lamar afloat. I know Joey Bosa's out, and he's out for the season, right? I think Joey Bosa's out, but they still have Khalil Mack. They need to keep Lamar in the pocket and upright, and I think he could deliver a win for them. Go ahead.
I got the Chargers winning, bro.
That's insane. If we just talked about the Chargers being fucking ass.
I know. I
just said 2 weeks ago that the Ravens were the best team in the league.
They are. And I have a feeling. It's a hunch.
Really?
I have a hunch, bro. I'm telling you what I feel. It's just honey bunches of paws. And
honey bunches of paws is fucking insane.
I just can't. When I look at this game, bro, this feels like a game where the Ravens are going to be bet all over the board. At the end of the day, dude, the Chargers still have, they can still win games. And It's just one of those games where I look at on this sheet and I'm like, I just like the Chargers here for no reason.
Well,
I like the Chargers.
Baltimore gives up the third less passing yards per game. What do the Chargers do best?
Pass.
What usually wins in those matchups?
Passing.
Historically.
Oh, well,
defense.
I was going to say, yeah.
Defense usually wins those matchups.
Unless the Chargers can just outscore them.
Could, but that's not easy because the Ravens have put up 30 plus.
Yeah,
a lot.
I know. The
Ravens are capable.
I'm just saying, I like the Chargers this week. I don't know why. I just feel like there's one of them games. Ravens, they've been blowing people out, winning close ones, been playing great, and I just feel like a little sync job.
It's prime time. I think. I mean, look, I'm betting against John Harbaugh in prime time. That's tough.
Yeah, I feel
like the Ravens are always. I
would bet against John Harbaugh before I would bet against me.
Right, but any place, any time. That's how this Ravens team is built. I don't think the lights are too bright for them. I think they're going to be okay. I think they're going to win this football game. I think once they win this game, I think you'll probably see a coaching change in LA. Absolutely.
Oh yeah, that I agree with.
Absolutely, they'll be 4-7. It's over. What are you playing for? You got to mix it up at that point.
Kellen Moore.
It's over.
All right, rest of the week 12 picks. Dolphins -9.5 at the Jets.
I got the Dolphins outright. The Jets, they have Tim Boyle at quarterback. I don't think the Dolphins will slow down at any point.
I think the Dolphins are going to put a hurt piece on them.
Me too.
Especially because they didn't do it to the Raiders.
Yeah.
I got Dolphins both ways. Buccaneers at Colts. Colts -2.5.
I got the Bucs in the upset here. This is my psychotic upset of the week. I have the Bucs going on the road and beating the Colts. I think the Bucs have been playing pretty good football. And I know they've lost games, but it hasn't been Baker's fault. I think Baker's played well. I think they've been inconsistent at times, but I think they can go on the road here and get a W against the Colts because I don't think the world of the Colts either.
I got the Bucs too.
Yeah,
I love the Bucs here. I don't even think that's a great spot. I don't think it's an upset.
Well, according to Vegas,
that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
I'm surprised by the line, to be honest with you.
So am I. But I like the Bucs in this spot, and I'm rooting for Baker so bad. Patriots -3.5 at the Giants. This is a battle of the buttest.
I got to be honest with you. If the Patriots cannot beat the Giants, that would be shocking to me.
Are you going to come in here and have conversations?
I would have a conversation about Bill Belichick because this is a game Bill Belichick absolutely smokes you. I mean, Tommy DeVito ain't beating no Bill Belichick.
Would you start the Bucs defense or the Chiefs defense in fantasy?
The Bucs or the Chiefs?
I'm sorry, the Chiefs or the Patriots defense in fantasy?
The Chiefs or the Patriots? I probably lean towards the Patriots because the Giants' offense is ass.
And I feel like
the Raiders have Devontae Adams. They got Josh Jacobs.
That was my thought process. FR.
I think so, but I'm not opposed to either or. I think the Chiefs can get after the quarterback too. So
go off.
But yeah, I think the Patriots are going to win outright here. If they lose this game, it's over for Bill in New England, man. It would be over. I mean, you can't lose to the bum ass Giants.
I agree.
With Tommy fucking DeVito, a quarterback, ain't no way.
How you doing, hon?
If he beats Bill Belichick, that would be crazy.
Will you have conversations?
I would come in here shocked. And we will definitely talk about it next week if the Giants.
We'll have conversations in a diner.
Oh yeah, we will.
All right.
Beyond
conversations at Bartle.
Beyond.
Steelers -1.5 at the Bengals.
I got an upset here again. I got the Bengals winning this football game. I don't know why. I know Broadbent is going to listen to this and he's going to hate me for it, but it's just a gut feel. I feel like everybody's counting out the Bengals. I feel like everybody's going to pick Pittsburgh here. I feel like every parlay is going to have the fucking Steelers, and I think this is where the Bengals come in here and they burn everybody's parlays. They are only 1.5 point dogs. I know they're home, but they got their backup quarterback in. Against a team that's a contender, quote unquote. It just doesn't make any sense. I like the Bengals here.
I got the Steelers both BOF ways. It's an easy dub.
I don't know about that.
Easy dub. They're going to have renewed energy. They got a new offensive coordinator coming in. They're not going to be playing, this fucking. It looked like us playing in Pittman. Their offense was weird. Dog shit.
This game gives me weird vibe.
They got Mike Pickett behind there or Kenny B. Panthers at Titans. Titans -4.
I got the Titans here. I got them both ways. I just think they're a better team. The Panthers, to me,
you go both ways.
Huh?
None. Go ahead.
To me, the Panthers, they're really not that good. They're going to be competing for the #1 overall pick here. I think the Titans have something to play for, especially Will Levis. I think he's got something to prove. Bryce Young, he's the number one overall pick. So for me, like he still has bought himself some time, at least another year, to get, you know what I mean, to pick up his skill set and get this team getting into the right direction. But Will Levis, I think he's on a much shorter leash, and I think he's going to play a lot more desperate. I like the Titans here.
I like the Panthers here. The only thing that concerns me is like Vrabel's defense. Like I feel like he can outsmart a rookie, but I just feel like Bryce has got to get one. And what a golden opportunity. Let him go for it. Yeah. But I just feel like the Panthers win this game. I think Bryce gets his second win of the year.
Yep.
Rams at Cardinals. Cardinals -1.5.
I got the Cardinals winning this game. To me, the line doesn't make any sense. The Cardinals lose by 5 last week, and then the Rams win, and the Cardinals are favorite at home against the Rams, which I think the Rams are a better team. I'm just taking the Cardinals. I just have a gut feel. I think Kyler's been playing pretty decent too. I think he's kind of had their offense clicking a little bit. There's something going on with Arizona that I really like. I think Gannon has been awesome this year.
He really has.
I mean, I know Eagles fans hate him and shit like that, but I actually think, like, low key, he's been slept on this year. I think he's had the Cardinals a lot more competitive than anybody could ever imagine.
The team's been ready to play every week.
Absolutely. And they always have a good defensive game plan. I like the Cardinals here.
I like the Rams. I really do, man. I know what you're saying with the line, but I like the Rams, man. The Rams are better than the Cardinals. Better head coach, better quarterback. Although I wonder if Cooper Kupp's going to play.
We're opposite on all these picks. It's crazy. It's good.
Regular. Chiefs -9.5 at the Raiders.
I'll show you. I got the Chiefs here both ways. I think, coming off a loss, they're going to prove a point. Chiefs both ways.
Yeah, I don't really have much to say.
Yeah.
They're going to put the work in. Bears at Vikings. Vikings -3.5. That's crazy. Josh Dobbs is a 3.5 point favorite over Justin Fields.
And he was traded mid-season.
I was picked in the 5th round. He's been on 7 teams in 3 years.
Josh Dobbs has been awesome. I like the Vikings here both ways.
Like Caesar.
No cap about it. Give me the Vikings both ways. I love the Vikings here at home.
Yeah, I got the Vikings both ways. Justin Fields ain't doing shit on prime time. He's not doing shit anytime.
No, Justin Fields is some shit, but
yeah. So, all right, guys, that concludes episode 183. Thank you to everybody that's tuned in. I hope you all have a happy Thanksgiving. Thank you for your support all year, as always. Go ahead, Nick,
yeah, man. What he said, we're grateful for all you guys. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys for hanging out with us. We appreciate all the love, support, and the comments. If you guys haven't done so already, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell on YouTube. We are also available on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, iHeart, Megaphone, Stitcher,
and all that other shit.
Also, follow us on all of our social platforms, as you do not want to miss our daily content on X, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. And we will see you guys next week at P&I, baby. Happy Thanksgiving and enjoy your holiday. Peace.
Say what you need to say.